Would you recommend C++ to somebody younger who is just getting started?
I think the just like of how fast it works and the speed. I think young people, like their attention span, like being able to learn something quick, it's like on their fingertips. But also, I think learning it might be more like complex. So I think it depends on like your learning style and like what works for you, I would say.
I would, in the regard that once you know C++, since, it's so syntactically heavy, I think that skill of understanding that will transition very well into, the higher level languages like Python or JavaScript.
Okay.
It's a great foundation to have.
All right.
For sure. Yeah.
I think it's a great language to learn, like when you're starting out. It's a language that I learned in the beginning of my university, just because it has like, you need to know a lot of concepts to like fully master the language. Then you can branch out, and then, like was previously said, you can just like use less of what you know, but like you still have a foundation, like understanding of what's going on in the background of the other languages that you're using.
C++ has some pretty robust libraries. It's pretty user-friendly. It's kind of the life stream of the coding world.
Because it's been so widely used, there are a lot of libraries for what you want to do, which is basically to say that other people have written tool sets that you can use to help get to make what you want faster. So my understanding of what makes a language easy to learn is, one, it has to look like, or it should look like, regular English or whatever your native language is. It should look vaguely like human language, and preferably try to stay away from weird symbols. And second is, I think, having good error messages where when something goes wrong, the system tells you what went wrong in a way that you can actually understand. And I think those are two things that C++ actually just can't have. It's already been built with, if I want to say if A or B is true in C++, you have to do these two little lines, and that doesn't read like any actual language, whereas in Python, you just write the word or.
Unreal specifically uses C++, but it also has this feature called blueprints, which is more of a visual style of programming, like node-based, and it's not actually using C++. So I could see as Unreal continues to develop that feature, I could see the potential of C++ maybe being phased out. And if Unreal drops support for C++, you're going to see less people, at least in game development, using C++ for programming. So I mean, it is possible that like a more visual approach could start to take roots, especially with like Scratch being one of them, which is usually used for like newcomers or beginners and stuff like that.
I don't think there's any conflict between a language being hard for new programmers to learn and its survivability in the long term.
I'd say just increase the demand for C++ developers, because I think like how attractive a language is highly correlated to how frequent it's being used, or the volume of like developers that use the language. Mm-hmm. So I think if maybe more companies push for C++ code bases, and you add an influx of jobs that require C++, I think that will make the language a bit more attractive, especially in today's job market where, developers are struggling to find jobs in a very high saturated language like Python or JavaScript. Maybe introducing an influx of jobs requiring C++ will make that language a bit more attractive.
Okay.
And more developers in C++ will just make the language that much more better.
Okay.
Because C++ is such a low-level language, when things go wrong, it's not going to be clear. And that's going to be, it's a lesson that every programmer will probably have to face at some point. But when you're a new programmer, I think it's more valuable to be able to get to where the language helps guide you to learning the concept. It doesn't get in the way between you and learning the concepts. And I think other languages are much, I guess, smoother in that regard than C++. So I think, and these are things that I think C++ can't get fixed without basically ripping up existing code bases. So I just don't think I don't think it's in the cards for C++ to become more palatable to new programmers.
Also agree with Java. Just I started with that as well, and I seen the value with it. Like it wasn't like C++. I think just me beginning would probably be a little bit too advanced of just like a starting level for me. So I think picking back like off what he said, I think at a starting point, it's like not too like you're getting enough knowledge to really like jumpstart. And like if you want to go to Python, like it's going to be like simple for you to understand.
So I started with Java, then Python, which is it's easier than both Java and C++. And then I did C++ last, but I wasn't good at the whole memory management thing, which is a very integral part of C++.
The bad is the memory management. So in short, it basically means if you aren't very careful and specific about what you're doing, C++ does offer you a lot of ways to make mistakes and accidentally shoot yourself in the foot. Compared to other languages like Python or Java that tend to hold your hand a bit more, give you bumpers.
I struggled with that, but once I got out of the coursework and was using it for game development, I've had to worry about memory management less because the environment handles a lot of the hidden stuff of C++.
Some people in government have mentioned recently that C++ is unsafe and should be used less in development for those reasons. I find myself in the group of people who kind of disagree and think that, it's a skill problem.
But yeah, I disagree as well. I think it's been around for decades now. It's this essential part of any coder programmer's library. So I can see maybe in like the financial circuit where you have like security concerns and things like that. But I think overall it's safe.
So basically, to alleviate this problem, we can do more testing and analyze how our RAM is responding or how our storage is responding or memory is responding to the program. And we can analyze that and we can look for the ways where there is a memory leak and we can fix it. And we need more specialized developers which can easily analyze the problem going through the code. I just want to add one more point to look for the memory leaks and all that. We can add loggings in our programming language. So let's say we can easily go through the logs and analyze if it's working normally or not.
So like as my friend mentioned about the logging, so what logging did, like if some issue is raised, so like they're gonna log it into a file so that we can easily like find out like what's the issue we are facing and we can resolve it in the minimum time.
I think it's been well known since basically forever that exploits involving memory can, cause a lot of harm. And yet, despite that, people still write code that has vulnerabilities like that. He mentioned that you have adversaries that are actively looking to find vulnerabilities in your code, right? Companies that have the resources for it do either have in-house or hire external teams that they basically say, here, I'm paying you to find a flaw in my code, because if you find it, that means you'll tell me about it before, an actual attacker finds out and doesn't tell me about it. So that might be another route to handling, or I guess dealing with memory vulnerabilities, but it's not anything new, right? These are all practices that are already out there. I am not sure if there's anything new that can be thought of simply as a response to this advisory, because this stuff has been there since forever.
Yeah, that definitely opens the door for more work on security, more encryption, just elevating the process. There's AI that are invented every day that are machine learning that are under threat to our work. So opens the door for more security, more articulated encryption.